uh, our internet provider cut out for a few hours. Now they're back on, but we have packet loss. Okay,
And they're all the way up.
that's my problem. How?
Reboot the router. Might fix it.
Oh, we are good. We're streaming. Sorry if my video is a little dark, but I can't make it conveniently any brighter than that. Okay. We I need to get my email up here about what we're going to talk about.
What might that be?
Okay, spot set number. We'll have the. Okay. What is all that noise? Is it the air conditioner or something?
Yeah.
Oh. Clean that shit.
Usually something right there.
Yeah, her eyes closed. I don't know. Have the notes running the whole time. We just have it running.
Can you turn that on?
Nice. I don't know. Will it get hot?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, that's much better.
Yeah, we had a beeping in here. A fan went out.
Yeah.
It beeped for a month. Because I couldn't take it down because the other studio wasn't ready. But nobody ever heard it on the air.
Oh, yeah.
But it
Yeah.
beeped. I mean,
Yeah.
it drive me
And
nuts.
we probably wouldn't hear that. It just was
I don't think
distracting.
so either. But
It was distracting me a little bit. All right. Any word from Mr. Tar yet? No. Suncast, he hadn't signed in yet, has he? Okie dokie. Oh, I forgot. I've got to do my distribution. You said we're streaming. I better do something about that. Thank you for saying so. How much time I got? I got about a minute, right? Okay. Good golly, Miss Molly. Let's see what I can do in a minute. I may not be able to entirely fix this. And why can't I? There we go. All right. Well, let's try the GFQ network. How about we try the guys from Queens Network? Hey, everybody, tuning into the live feed on the show. Glad you're here. We are just getting ready to distribute the show a little bit. Share this to my personal page. And we'll also see about sharing this over to the TWiRT page. Share this to TWiRT. Switch. Come on. There we go. No, this is on Facebook. We have a distribution model. We share the live feed out to lots of pages. That way you can't avoid it. That's our distribution model. You can't avoid us.
Everyone, it has been a chilly mid-April day.
Sorry about that. Let's try getting back to. There we go. All right. Oh, it's top of the hour. It's past top of the hour. It's time to get started. Suncast, we got a thumbs up from you. All right. Thank you. All right. You know, I've forgotten my usual elixir for the show. I usually have a bottle of tequila just off camera. No, I don't. But it sounds funny. All right. Take a deep breath, Kirk. It's all going to be okay. Rick's here in case anything goes wrong.
Yeah. You're in charge.
That's right. Okay. That's a dangerous way to be. Come on in. Come on in.
Sorry, I'm just at a car.
Oh, okay. Are we in your way? We
No,
looks like we
no,
are.
no, okay.
Okay. We're getting ready to do a TV show. You want to be on? Have we taken up all your spaces?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I've been outside unspooling Ethernet cables, so I am.
You got Wi-Fi out there?
The girl is
Or are you gonna do hardwire?
we're gonna do
Hard.
Is
Good idea.
this for the fundraiser starting tomorrow? Okay. I'm Kirk. What's your name?
Danielle.
Hi, Danielle. Well, I'll see you tomorrow morning early. I'll be out here about, I don't know, 7 o'clock or so.
No, we're going to. I will see y'all tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, good.
She's IT.
She's
For the
IT
school.
for the school? Okay. Good deal.
Assistant IT.
She didn't want to be on the TV show, did she? No. Okay. Hey, everybody. It's time to start This Week in Radio Tech. A couple minutes late. No problem. And it's episode number 716 of TWiRT. And we will start the show. Suncast is standing by, as always. And we'll start TWiRT in 3, 2. Hey, welcome into This Week in Radio Tech, the show where we talk about everything from the microphone to the light bulb at the top of the tower. Our tower here doesn't have a light bulb, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It's not that tall.
Pretty short.
It's pretty short. Hey,
About
I'm
20 feet up.
20. Oh my gosh. We're going to talk about this radio station that I'm at. I'm Kirk Harnack here in Nashville, Tennessee. We're doing our show live today from a university radio station, WFSK, as in Fisk University. That's where we're at right now. And this is, well, he might end up being my co-host today because I haven't seen Chris Tarr yet. This is Rick Durham. Hi, Rick.
How you doing?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
Appreciate being here.
How long have we known each other now?
I don't know. 10 years maybe?
Maybe. Did we meet at SBE?
I think so.
Okay. Or did we meet here?
No, we met at SBE.
Probably SBE. Okay. All right. Well, Rick Durham is a local engineer, local to Nashville, Tennessee. He runs a computer consulting firm. Is that right?
MSP, managed service provider.
Oh, okay. You're gonna have to explain that to me because I'm not familiar with what MSPs do. So we'll
We
talk
just
about
make things work for everybody.
make things work, whether it's a radio station or computers.
Exactly.
We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about taking care of what's really a small radio station, but it's really, even though it's a small station compared to others, it's important to the people who work here and the people who listen to it. And some people have full careers here, so we're going to talk about that. Also, a fundraiser that we set up every year. We've done this for a few years, and all that's coming up. So glad you've joined us for This Week in Radio Tech. We're going to jump right into our first announcement because they pay me to do it. It's from Nautel and the Nautel HD Radio Test Drive. And I think Suncast probably has a graphic to throw up there. There it is. Good job, Suncast. That's nice. The Nautel HD Radio Test Drive it's an offering that's intended to help you and lots of broadcasters try HD radio for yourself. HD radio transmission has the potential to create critical presence on the car dashboard and help stations to stay competitive in the field of lots of alternative media choices, especially on the dashboard. It's based on Nautel's software air chain technology. And this is really cool stuff because it gives you a lot of flexibility and it can be updated, and it regularly is too. The HD Radio Test Drive allows broadcasters to try HD radio transmission in their market for up to 6 months to unlock listeners and content and new revenue potential, all without needing to install and purchase something like $40,000 or $50,000 worth of HD radio gear. The best way to find out about this is to contact your Nautel representative. For some of you, that's Jeff Wilson. For some of you, that's Jeff Welton. and maybe it's somebody else for the rest of us. Check it out from Nautel. You go to the website, nautel.com, to check out the HD radio test drive. And I'm glad that one of my stations is doing HD radio. We're doing it with Nautel. We missed on the test drive. We actually put it on the air a year ago, and the test drive just started a few months ago. But we went ahead and bit the bullet, put on our main FM, our HD1, and our HD2, and an HD3. And so we're providing several different formats in Oxford, Mississippi. This is the home of Ole Miss University, and I'm just really glad that we did that. Let me jump into HD radio with both feet. I've been consulting on it for years, but now I was actually able to do it, and I got to tell you, Nautel made it really easy to get done. All right, Kirk Harnack here and Rick Durham. So Rick, we're at WFSK,
Yes, sir.
and kind of we got several themes going in our show today. We're going to talk about small university stations and kind of what they do. We're going to hear from one of the disc jockeys here. What's X?
Yeah. Excellent.
He was X before Twitter was X, wasn't
Really?
he? I got to ask him about that. And maybe Sharon K will join us for a few minutes as
She'll be
as
here.
well. She'll be here. All right. So Rick,
Never miss a moment.
we'll let Sharon really let us in on WFSK. But as an engineer, what do you know about WFSK?
It's been a struggle because we're I can't even think of the word.
We're height restricted. Yeah.
Well, that too, but
Power restricted.
community is it's paying for everything. The university doesn't pay for that much of it. That's why we're having a fundraiser tomorrow.
Yeah.
So anyway, getting new equipment, and we've got new boards now, Axia boards. They got a new phone system, Telos.
Oh, okay.
Almost everything is Telos.
Well, actually, you bring up a good point. So the reason that I'm here, a few years ago, Sharon K, who's the general manager here,
Right.
She and I think she already had you doing some of this, but she asked if I could help out.
Right.
And I said, Sharon, I've got some equipment, some Telos Axia gear that I can loan for your purpose. And so they do a fundraiser here, and it's kind of, I've never seen a station do this. So we're up here on the 4th floor of what building are we in? Is this a dorm?
Yeah, it used to be a dorm.
Used to be a dorm. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it offices or classrooms?
There's a few offices downstairs.
Okay. All right.
Maybe a classroom or two.
So we're on the 4th floor. We're scary close to the antenna, right?
Right.
It's right above us.
About 20 feet, 30 feet up.
And they do a fundraiser every year, as you mentioned, and they do the fundraiser where?
Down here in the parking lot.
In the parking lot. And people actually drive in and donate money.
Exactly. And you have the mayor come and the chief of police and the head of the university and others.
So
even a local TV station personality.
This is the only radio station in Nashville that plays jazz.
I think so.
I think so.
This version of jazz, it's a unique mix of music.
And I know that they get some donations of jazz music, CDs, and albums, and I think they sell some of those. They sell T-shirts, right?
T-shirts, but they give away those. Part of the donation.
Yeah, if you donate some money,
samples. Sample music.
So that's how they raise money for part of their operating expenses, right. Because the university only partially supports their activity, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And monitor the money.
And so to raise money, they've always done this parking lot thing.
Right.
We put speakers up out there, and we put an audio console, a little mixer out there with sports headsets for everybody.
Right. I see a node, of course.
That's what I was going to get at. Yeah. So we have an Axia audio console right here behind us. It's the IQ console, right?
Correct.
And they've got a Core 32.
32.
Okay. Yeah. Core 32 engine down here beside me somewhere.
Right.
And on the back of that, there is an Ethernet switch that's built into the console, built into the Core 32. Now we want to get audio from the parking lot, which is down below us about 4 floors. Yeah. Plus it's out that way a little bit.
Right.
So maybe it's 60, 70, 80 feet worth of cable.
Pretty much.
And we didn't want to run a whole bunch of mic cables back and forth. We didn't want hum and buzz and ground loops and all the stuff that comes with running analog a long distance.
This sounds like a commercial.
So
Axia.
So what we did was we decided, well, let's just run an Ethernet cable out the window across the big old air conditioner and air handler and stuff is
Right.
down there. Maybe across the gas meter and whatever infrastructure's out there. And then they have a tent that they put up.
Put up a couple tents and a table or two, and set up the parking lot where people can just drive through and make a donation.
So we put an Axia X node out there, and then we put a little analog mixing console out there.
Right.
And the output of the mixing console feeds an input to the node, which, clean as a whistle, shows up on the console.
It is clean. It's amazing.
And then, but they want to hear the disc jockey up here talk to them down there to say, okay, the song's almost over. We're about ready to go on the air.
Right.
And so he can hit the talkback button on the console. And that's sent down the Ethernet, right?
Right.
Into the little analog mixing console, and it comes into their headphones
Right.
downstairs.
Right.
So
this year we're going to set up a VPN where she can log into the computer up here to see what's coming up.
oh, we could do that, yeah.
She's going to do that.
Okay.
That's
okay.
what Danielle's here about.
Okay. All right.
So
So anyway, yeah, we do a remote by putting a node out in the parking lot and then hooking whatever analog mixer up to it. This year, I brought a little analog mixer, but in years past, the stations had one.
yeah, we got a little throwaway.
Yeah. So, well, a lot of these are throwaway. I think I paid $200 for the one that I brought.
That's better than the one she had.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, this is a pretty cool way to do a remote out in
It
the
is.
parking lot.
It works pretty good.
We could, because of the limitation of Ethernet, 100 meters technically would be our limit on the length of the cable,
Right.
unless we used a fiber cable.
Right. About 300 feet get you there.
Yeah, yeah. Now, how long is our cable out to the parking lot?
It's probably about 100.
Okay.
What's like 40 feet up here
Did-
to the
did-
parking lot?
Did you remember to bring the cable?
Yeah.
Okay.
I made it up in past years. Keep it on site.
So we brought the gear up here, and just to test it out, we also had to in the console is an Axia IQ console, and in past years we had defined an input on the console to behave correctly, to send audio back downstairs for their monitoring, and also it's interruptible, so the jock up here can just push a talkback button and talk over to their headsets. And it, of course, it kept the same configuration
Right.
from last year.
It's just plug and go now every year.
We didn't have to use our brains too much to figure it out
Too
again, did we?
much.
All right. Well, and the fundraiser is what is today? Thursday, so it's tomorrow and Saturday.
Yes, correct.
All right.
About 8 hours a day.
There's food involved.
There is food, lunch and dinner there. People bring a lot of food here.
That's how you get
It's
college.
really good.
That's how you get college students to show up.
Yeah,
Engineers too.
yeah. I'll be here.
Well, let's now that we know why we're here and what we're doing. You mentioned that this facility, WFSK, is pretty much all Axia gear. It's not a big station, but we
No.
have Axia here in the control room.
That's correct. We got a broadcast equipment transmitter, 750 watt.
Okay. Okay. We have what's the audio processor here?
Omni One.
It's an Omnia one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Works great.
Now they have a talk studio behind us.
That's correct.
Is there a node?
Another node back there.
So all the
Four-
mics, the
Four
mic,
mics.
they just go into that node
Yeah.
over there.
Except
right?
for the host goes directly into the Q32,
oh, okay.
Core 30.
The Core 30, the
Yeah.
QLR 32. Okay. Okay. Cool. Do they have student staff here or full-time professional staff?
Full time. I think they got a student or two. That's iffy. I don't know. I'm not up here that much.
Yeah. So tell me about your job in engineering. You've been working with Sharon and WFSK for several years.
Probably about 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
Rebuilt the production studio, got new Axia equipment. Had no choice. The other one just smoked. So
What smoked?
the console
What?
smoked. I forgot what it was a Gates console,
Yeah.
and it just smoked one day. And I think it had something to do with a local power company turning off the power and turning it back on.
Okay.
Whatever. Anyway, we got new equipment and it's working well.
Have you done engineering for other radio stations?
Or
Or is this
it's
your?
been a long time. I started out a long time ago, and I worked for a station down in Shelbyville. It was a 100,000 watt station, my
Oh my
first
goodness.
station,
Wow.
and it was a actually it was a gospel station, I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
you'd call it. It was sort of like talk too. A bunch of preachers on there, and 100,000 watts up on Horse Mountain.
Now, when we first just got into the show, you were telling me that your company is really an MSP. Tell me
Right.
now. I thought I knew about IT, but I don't know anything about MSP companies.
It's managed service provider, and I just provide services to companies that need, computer repair, networking, just anything really. I get them internet, shop internet for them, that kind of thing. Put in phone systems. Not too much I don't do anymore, but
It seems
I
like.
even got a bus website. I sell buses. So
Oh my gosh. Okay.
that's another story.
In case the MSP thing doesn't work out, you can
Well,
always
it's
sell
just
buses.
I was shopping for a bus, and I was on this website, and it said it was for sale, so I bought it and revamped it, and it's just a sideline.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
So, in a little bit, I want you to tell me about your journey in learning about VoIP telephony, because you build asterisk
right,
phone systems, right?
I do.
And it seems like you and I had a project. Oh, I forget if it was here or somewhere else, but you built an asterisk phone box uh, for a broadcaster, didn't you? Was it
Well,
here?
this one, yeah.
Okay.
We're using what's it called? Clearly IP.
Yeah.
Built a little box, a little processor, and I put the version I'm using of free PBX is called Incredible PBX.
Yeah. Sure.
And it works well. It's all asterisk. It's all menu driven. Pretty easy to deal with.
Is this for
Reliable.
is this for their on-air lines or
Yes,
for the
yeah,
business lines?
Call-in lines.
Oh, okay. Okay. Does the university provide their regular business phone service?
They do.
Okay.
They just switched to voice over IP, and they just now got the time working on their phones. And it's been in for maybe 6 months. I'm thinking the time's 2 hours off. But that's their IT department
You know,
in charge.
at my office, because I work full time for Telos Alliance, I've got 2 VoIP phones on my desk. I've got one for all my radio stations,
Right.
and I've got one from Telos Alliance. The one from Telos Alliance is always an hour in advance because they're on their East Coast time.
You can set the time on that phone.
Maybe I can,
I know you can.
but it gets its time from.
Right. It does.
Okay,
But you on the phone itself, you go into the menu and just say you're on Central Time.
you'll have to show me how to do that.
Depends on the phone.
It's a Yay-Link phone.
Oh yeah, they're easy.
Easy. Okay.
That's the hard phone right there.
What is
The
that?
Telos
Oh,
phone.
the Telos phone is the hard phone.
I'm telling you,
Yeah, listen to this. Okay.
it doesn't follow the same rules.
All right. Hey, friends, it's Kirk Harnack at This Week in Radio Tech. We're having fun at WFSK, talking to Rick Durham. He's an engineer and a managed services provider. We're going to find out a little bit more about how that works and what that's good for. We're here getting set up for WFSK's annual fundraiser, which they're going to start tomorrow morning
Right.
in the parking lot, and they interview lots of dignitaries out in the parking lot. I notice a lot of the news anchors from different TV stations come by.
All of
And-
them.
and
I think all 3 stations.
They're all invited anyway.
Yes, they do come by.
That gets some coverage, on the news story.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how that works. Pretty smart.
Yeah, marketing.
It's marketing.
All you can do.
That's right. And I usually get a free T-shirt out of this every now and then.
Just get the one down there. They sell them.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever paid for one. You know,
Well, I
I,
hadn't
I
either.
have donated. I have.
Oh,
That's good. Okay.
I didn't get one last year. But
Hey,
whatever.
let's see. It's This Week in Radio Tech, and you know what? I'm a little remiss here in getting ready for this. Oh yeah, it's time for our first commercial break.
Second.
Well, the Nautel thing, we slipped that in.
Oh, okay.
That's not really a commercial break.
Your shot.
Do you think it's a commercial break? Maybe you do, but I just kind of slip it in. I told Nautel, I don't have any more room for commercials. They said, well, can you slip in something at the beginning? Yeah, I can do that.
That'll work.
Okay. All right. Hey, our show This Week in Radio Tech is brought to you in part by our friends at Angry Audio. And I'm sorry, Suncast, if you're not ready for not giving you much notice here. And Suncast doesn't even know what I'm going to talk about. Let's see. Let's talk about the cool little audio console. I know we've talked about this IQ console from Axia, but um, Angry Audio is now shipping their Rave console, and this is just a slick little console. If you don't need an audio over IP console like my friends at Telos Alliance Axia Audio sell, maybe what you need is just a small, little, rugged, high quality audio console from Angry Audio. And this is the Rave audio console. Now, Mike Dosh, what a designer this guy is. He's designed this beautiful 8 fader console, and it has built-in mic preamps, of course. This is cool. It's got linear faders for the monitor output and for the headphone output. So that's kind of slick. The buttons are so well designed. They're all aircraft avionics grade buttons. Mike Dosh he's the guy that designed this. It's got talkback, wherever it needs it. Very clear metering. It's got, of course, it's got preview or Q, as you might call it, for everything. The mic inputs are XLRs, but everything else is Studio Hub. So it's easy to click together, to make it work quickly, to set it up. This thing is just really beautiful. And it's shipping now. And you know what? This console is, I think it's under $2,000. And it's, if you pick one of these up, you're going to go, oh, this isn't going anywhere. This is not going to walk off because it's heavy, high quality, a beautiful design. It's going to last your station, your mixing facility, whatever you need. It's going to last you many, many, many years. The Rave console from Angry Audio. Thanks a lot, Mike Dosh at Angry Audio, for making the Rave console. Hey, our show is also brought to you in part by Max Connect. And I want to talk about Max Connect Wireless. We're doing a remote broadcast tomorrow morning and Saturday morning. We're doing that from the parking lot. We're going to run a cable out there. But if you need to do a radio remote and you need wireless connectivity, we used to use Marty's back in the day, and hey, they still work. But if you want full two-way audio, great connectivity, and easy to set up, what you need is Max Connect Wireless. Max Connect Wireless, they've made arrangements with all the major phone providers, all the carriers, to give you prioritized 4G LTE data. And that means that you get some spectrum, you get some bandwidth, you get some broadband space that the rest of the public doesn't have access to. And that means that you could be in a stadium full of people and you turn on your Max Connect Wireless and you get the bandwidth you need to do your audio programming from the stadium. When you can have 80,000 people in the stadium and your stuff works. Everybody else is waiting for their Facebook page to update and your stuff works. That's the beauty of Max Connect Wireless. You also get a static IP address. So if you have these at transmitter sites that need internet connectivity, you know what the IP address is going to be. You can whitelist that for things that are coming into your station because nobody else can spoof that IP address. That's the way IP addresses work. You can spoof a lot of things. You can't spoof an IP address. And there's Kirk Harnack on the screen. Amazing. So check it out. Max Connect Wireless. These things, sometimes they have trouble keeping the modems in stock because Josh Bone and his team have been installing these all around the country at so many radio stations so quickly that once in a while they say, well, it's going to be a week before we can ship it to you. These things work great, whether it's for a fixed installation like a transmitter site or a remote or maybe a fixed remote. You need to do a remote every week from a nightclub or a church or something like that. Just put it out there and let it be for that. I use one as backup for a transmitter site that we use. We feed MPX over IP to a transmitter site. And their main carrier, Comcast, sorry, it's not reliable. Even though it should be, it's not. And so we use Max Connect as a backup. Check it out. Thanks a lot, Max Connect, for sponsoring This Week in Radio Tech. All right, here we are at WFSK. If you ever want to check them out, it's WFSKFM.org is their website. And we're here for several things, including the fundraiser tomorrow. Rick, all right. Yes, so I'm a broadcast engineer, and look, I don't pretend to know everything about IT that I should or that I would like to, but your company can help, and companies like yours. Tell me all about what I should know to hire an MSP like you. What do you do?
I take care of the network mostly. I build and sell systems. I configure the network and just make it all work
Yeah.
and take care of it and do maintenance on it when needed. I do for some of my customers. I do nightly backups.
Oh, okay.
I have my cloud at my house in my office.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we do backups every night, and that's about it in a nutshell. I'm simplifying it, but it's so second nature to me. First nature, actually.
So many, and I'll bet, this station, they have an IT department at the university, but the IT department at the university doesn't understand
No.
Axia, right?
No, not at all.
But your IT background helped you figure Axia out pretty quickly.
It did. It's just being in front of it, spending time with it. It was a new thing to me, and I've learned along the way. Is the problem is that I don't come up here very much, and then when they're in a crisis, it's kind of hard to remember what I did and how I did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I can write it down, but it's a different animal than a regular network. It's its own kind of terminology.
Have you ever used that website, Shodan.io? You ever
I've
seen
heard
that?
of it, but I can't.
It's fascinating because Shodan, it's kind of like Google for the Internet of Things. And lots of times these appliances, things that are stuck on the internet, will tell you what they are, right? So if you go do a search for, let's say, barracks,
Okay.
the codecs that people put on the internet and they don't really understand how to make them work, but the barracks codec was inexpensive. Company said, oh, it's easy. Even the manager can install it. And the manager puts the barracks in the DMZ of the router.
Okay.
And so what you have, and I know this happened in Nashville back when some barracks boxes were attacked by people who put some naughty things on the air. This happened a few years ago. Anyway, my point is this: an MSP like you can make sure that a barracks box, a Sage EAS box, things that should be behind a firewall,
Right.
things that should not be easily accessible from the outside, you can help make sure that a broadcaster who maybe doesn't have an engineer or doesn't have an IT guy, that broadcaster is safe from himself.
That's right. But everything I do is behind a firewall.
Sure.
Period.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about that. And luckily, I haven't had any problems
Well,
being hacked.
but you also understand VPNs,
Yes.
right? How to get people into things that they need to get in.
I put a bunch of VPNs during COVID.
Oh
A lot of people working from home. And still are.
I am.
Yeah.
But I've always worked from home. So
I use mine every day.
COVID just got me camera shots into lots of my colleagues' homes when we had a Zoom meeting, They already knew what my home looked like. As an MSP, we've talked about phone systems, and this is something that in my job at Telos, I get a lot of questions about. In fact, I just had a conversation today with a customer about putting in a Telos VoIP phone system. And more customers are becoming knowledgeable about VoIP. But what are some of the common things that you, some of the common issues or questions that you answer for companies that need to get off POTS and get onto a VoIP phone system?
Well, I mean, the main thing is no internet, no phones.
Oh,
Bottom line.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that in the beginning. But other than that, it's got all the features that a button style or POTS line would have. It's got all the features.
Yeah.
It's just implementing them the way you want.
A lot of broadcasters in the building on premises, or do we do a cloud-based SIP PBX? What advice do you offer about that question?
I do both. My phone system's in the cloud, and I've got several other customers, and then I've got another customer that's got it on site.
Mhm.
The problem I'm seeing with the guys on site, it's hard to upgrade because they're using it all the time, and they also are hooked to Comcast for their T1, which they should get off of that. They have to go get a SIP trunk or two
Yeah.
to take care of it.
when
Here we're using just Comcast cable.
ah,
That's
for the
truth.
internet connection.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you now at my own radio stations, the ones we have in Mississippi and in Hawaii and in Samoa, where we can, and we're on fiber at some of our sites,
Mhm.
we just have terrific service. It just rarely has a problem. Whereas if we're on cable based service,
Mhm.
we have a lot more problems with that. Did you find that to be similar in your customers?
No, Comcast is pretty good in this area.
Ah, okay.
The routers I'm using will handle dual WANs,
Okay.
so you can put dual service on them, and they'll switch over automatically.
Uh-huh. What router model or brand are you in favor of these days?
I went out on a limb, and I work with Draytech.
Oh,
And it's not that popular of a brand name, but they're made in Taiwan. They stand behind their product. I'm really worried about what China's going to do to them.
yeah.
But I like it because they've got a scheduler in it. They create VPNs
Uh-huh.
every day, every night for my backups. And I hadn't seen that in any other router. Maybe can't think of any brand names now.
So you can schedule the creation of a VPN connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to reboot it, I reboot the routers every night, clear
Oh.
them out, clean them out.
Uh-huh.
That's what MSP does. And I also do that with PCs. You know, I schedule they reboot every night. They clean the cache every night.
Of scheduling reboots. What about scheduling Windows update? Yeah. I sure can. Hang on. For Wired. All right, we're back with you. What do you think, son? All right, good deal. We'll he fixed it. See, a reboot really helps. We'll continue. Give him a countdown here in 3, 2. So, Rick, what I was going to ask you about is the whole concept of Windows updates.
Right.
You know, in broadcasting, we have Windows machines that we don't want them to reboot. We don't want to do an update until we want them to do an update.
Right.
Uh, and my own policy is that if it's a computer that's used by a salesperson or front desk, we just let the Windows updates do what they're supposed to do. But for a production on-air machine, I have that. I'm able to turn that off in the group policy editor.
Right.
And is that a reasonable way to handle that?
It is. Well, the software I'm using to do all this, I can schedule the updates, and I usually wait a couple weeks once one comes out to see if it's okay. Then lock up the machine, and then once a week I'll do updates on all the PCs.
Ah, okay.
And I only do security updates and major updates to Word and whatever, Excel, those kind of things.
Is there an antivirus or malware protection that you tend to like, or do you tend to use what Windows has?
That's part of my service too.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm drawing a blank.
That's all right.
It's called.
We're all nervous here on TV.
I can't think of it. Bit. Can't think of the name of it.
We'll think of it during the break.
Yeah.
How about that?
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But it works. I mean, it's something that I don't have to deal with.
Yeah.
It works every day, and it catches stuff when. Also, I make sure that all the users are logged in as users. There's no admin logins except for myself. So that fixes a lot of that. Deters a lot of the crap on the internet.
And it used to be that, and maybe it still is. I don't know. A lot of times you first set up a Windows machine and you're an administrator.
Exactly.
And I always no, there's an administrator account available, but no, everybody that's using the computer, unless there's a specific reason, unless like the automation company that I'm using tells me it has to be an administrative account. Well, okay, but no, everybody is
But
a
you
user.
can work around that part of it by changing the permissions just on that one app or program
Okay,
to give them admin rights.
gotcha. Or start as administrator, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, operate, read and write as an administrator,
Okay. Okay.
execute.
Hey, we're at WFSK, and we're going to take a quick break here. We're talking with Rick Durham. He's the engineer here, and I need to bring up my. So we did that break. We're going to do a broadcast tools break in a minute. Tell you what, I'm going to do a live break. Would you want to go see if you can grab some other
Okay.
talent,
Will do.
X and or Sharon or
Both.
hey, what? Let's get X first. Let's see if we can talk to him for a few minutes. All right.
I'll go get it.
All right. Thanks. Hey, my producer Suncast could do this, but he's in the control room, so I appreciate him very much. This week in Radio Tech is brought to you in part by our friends at Broadcasters General Store, BGS. The website is bgs.cc, and the product that we're talking about here is from Broadcast Tools. It's their IO Sentinel 4G2. This is a web-based GPIO interface. And I'm sorry to throw this on you, Suncast, but if you want to locate the website for that at Broadcast Tools, it might be in the email that I sent you. So what this is, there it is. Thank you very much, Suncast. This is from Broadcast Tools. They make some cool stuff that just sits. I got Broadcast Tool stuff that's got to be 20 years old, and it still works. This is the IO Sentinel 4G2. It's a web-based GPIO interface, and what it does is you can think of it as data acquisition. That's one function. You can think of it as a remote control device that you can remote control it. It has 4 optically isolated status logic inputs. You can configure them for wet or dry contact closure, status, and logic monitoring. And then it has 4 1-amp single pole double throw relay outputs, and they can be configured for on or off or pulsed or what you might call reboot operation. The 4G2 can be controlled with and monitored locally or remotely over any IP network, including private networks and IP-based industrial control networks, or, of course, over the public internet. You can operate the product using a web browser or web-enabled mobile device. Yeah, you can even use your phone. And it can email you notifications if you need it to. You get a contact closure on, let's say, input number 4. That may be something important. You can have it email you and say, hey, I just got a contact closure here. Hey, guess what? Chris Tarr loves this. You can also set up SNMP traps to multiple units to get monitoring and control over several units that way. Now, here's something else cool. You can hook 2 of these up back to back over the public internet to bring contact closures from one unit remotely to another unit. Is that cool? And you can do that in both directions over the public internet. So this is the from Broadcast Tools. It is again, it's called the I'm sorry, I just lost my place. Hey, come on in, Sharon. Sharon's coming in here. It's the IO Sentinel 4G2 web-based GPIO interface, and of course, the place to buy it is from Broadcasters General Store. Their website, bgs.cc. You can give them a call at 352-622-7700. Hey, Sharon, come on in here. We're just making room for Sharon to come in here. I want to thank Broadcasters General Store.
Sure.
I think you buy some of your stuff at BGS, don't you?
A lot of it there. They ought to know me
I
personally.
know you personally. That's right.
Yes.
All right.
For years, I've been doing business with them.
I have too. Years ago, you remember
Almost 20.
You remember Sam Phillips from Memphis? You ever hear of him? He's the guy that discovered Elvis.
I heard of them.
Sam Phillips.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when I was a little girl.
yeah, that's right. Well, he passed back in the 90s,
Yeah.
but I used to do engineering for Sam.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and he would call me. I'm still doing the ad for Broadcast General Store. He would call me over to his office and he would talk to me for hours about fixing up his radio station. And then he would always say that Sam came from a different era.
He's from Memphis.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's when I lived in Memphis. And Sam would always
You
say,
lived in Memphis?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did. Don't hold that against me. And Sam would say, Kurt, call them pretty girls over there at BGS and get them on the phone. Tell them to sharpen up their pencils. So, anyway.
Well, they never told me to call pretty girls. I want the handsome men. Okay?
They got some handsome men there too.
Okay.
Actually, the pretty girls there married some handsome men. That's how they got them.
So they have handsome children.
I haven't met the kids yet.
Well,
the grandkids.
You
ask them.
ask them next time.
All right, I will.
Okay.
I will.
But we have had a 20-year relationship.
Yeah. And if you ever go through Ocala, Florida, you need to stop there at Broadcast General
Okay.
Store. They're next to I-75. They're just a 10-minute drive off I-75 on Ocala, Florida. That's horse country. That's where all the horses are.
Were they not here a few years ago when they had the traveling?
Oh yeah, they've
thing? Okay.
they've had a traveling thing,
Okay.
that they've done every
Do
year.
they sponsor that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met some of them there.
Yeah, they spend all kinds of money.
All of our money, right?
That's right. All right, it's This Week in Radio Tech. We have replaced our regularly scheduled Rick Durham
Oh,
with
so-
with Sharon Kay. Hi, Sharon.
Hey,
This is Sharon Kay. What do you do here, Sharon?
I'm a general manager.
Okay, of WFSK.
A woman in charge, honey.
All right, now let me please have you. You are legendary in this
Well,
town.
that's what they say.
Well, didn't we get you into the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame?
I am in. You know how many years it took?
How long?
I've been in radio 45.
They don't let young people in that.
No, and well, I've been in. I was nominated 5 years in a row,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is not gonna happen. I was there when it first started. I was their first treasurer. Nobody knows that but me.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Now, you know who nominated you 2 of those years?
was it you?
You're looking at him. I was one of several who nominated.
You want some macaroni and cheese? What you need? Thank you.
Of course.
I heard that I had quite a few people that did.
Yeah.
And I was like, about time, because I know most of y'all.
Now, give me your little elevator speech about Sharon Kay in media in Nashville, Tennessee. What are you known for?
I am known for my talk show. Was the 411 with Sharon Kay.
Okay.
It's been on the air continuously for 23 years
Oh wow.
and sponsored. That is
Okay.
a miracle.
Okay.
But I'm most known for asking those probing questions that nobody else asks. What do y'all have for lunch? No, I want to know things that other people may not want to know. I'm very inquisitive.
Yeah.
And I like to entertain my audience as well
Mhm.
and not be boring. You know how you do your audience, right?
Yeah.
You entertain.
I like to entertain them. That's why I got you on here.
Well,
We had enough of Rick.
yeah, you are awful.
I know.
He
I'm
is
just
awful.
I know.
But I would say that, I've been around for a long time here in Nashville. I was in news. I worked at WLAC. I worked at 92Q.
Now, so this is what I wanted. You worked at WLAC,
Yes, I did.
big AM station, news talk,
I was news and talk.
and Q what?
WQQK.
QQK.
Formerly the #1 station in Nashville while I was there.
Of course, of course. I've been to their transmitter site several times.
Have you?
I have. I fixed something there years ago.
Do you know any of their engineers?
Was what was his name? Fellow passed away that I'm thinking
Sarah.
of.
We had Clinton Hooper.
Oh, Clinton. That's who I was trying to think of. Yeah, Clinton.
We
Hooper.
had Clinton. I met Clinton there,
Okay.
and when we first got here, I said, "How much do you love me?" I said, "We are nonprofit. We don't have a lot of money." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Okay, so what do you have?" And I was like, "Not much, but just help us." And he loved the station because during those times, Clinton was real quiet, but he knew what the heck he was doing.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
He started telling me stories about this station.
Oh.
And he
WFSK.
he
Okay.
was one of the ones that got it on the air.
Oh.
Because the students needed somebody to come in
Uh-huh.
and show them
How to work the equipment?
and just to
Yeah.
get it going.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what he did. And he had a lot of history that he knew about the station. And so that's where his interest was. And he just loved to tinker. And he did. And he helped us get to partially where we are now. And then, of course, he passed away.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
how come we have Rick?
Clinton was in the SBE, and I
Yes.
met him there. But I also met him at was he the engineer for WVOL?
He engineered for everybody.
Everybody,
in,
yeah.
Everybody in Tennessee,
Who
man.
am I thinking of that owned WQQK and maybe VOL together?
Man, that was
And he owned a station in Tupelo, Mississippi as well.
He did.
And
Sam Howard.
Sam Howard, yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
And
Okay.
here's weirdness. You like stories?
Sure.
I started my radio career at WREN AM 1250, Topeka, Kansas.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
Topeka.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm a Kansan. Don't tell nobody.
I lived in Kansas when I was a kid.
No way.
Yeah, in Winfield, Kansas.
Well, that's way out in the country.
That's way south of Wichita.
That's country.
Yeah.
I'm in this big city of Topeka.
Yeah, the big city of Topeka. That's right.
But that was the capital. And that was it was difficult for me, not because I didn't have experience.
Uh-huh.
I was a DJ for parties and clubs and stuff, but I wanted a real radio job.
Okay.
And that was back in the time, 80, 79, 80. Wasn't a lot of women doing this, and
Mhm.
especially that looked like me.
Mhm.
And I was the 1st
Mhm.
black employee the station had.
Mhm.
And it was a historic station owned by Alf Landon, who is that ran for governor way back when. I got some trivia for you. His daughter used to be Senator Nancy Lynn Cassabon,
Okay.
and she married Howard Baker.
Yep.
I think they live in Tennessee somewhere. But I worked for him while he was alive, and that was just unbelievable to be in that treasure trove of radio history.
Yeah.
His office, he used to have all these old cartoons because the news media used to make the cartoons all the time, the newspapers and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Everyone he was in,
It's a method of political commentary.
oh,
right?
most definitely,
Yeah.
everyone that he was in or part of, he had them framed.
Ah.
So they were all around everywhere. And then it was so many of them because he ran for president that they had them all over the station. So you literally would take a walk through history by being there. So I was just honored.
I've got because this is a technical show and you're not an engineer.
So Tech Talk.
I've got to see if I can turn your attention briefly to the topic of dealing with technicalities. You yourself, a reasonably non-technical person.
Excuse me.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Don't
Go
get
ahead.
it twisted, honey.
Go ahead.
Okay. What I wanted to say is, don't assume that. I've been around for a long time. I do know, what to do and not to do, and what to buy and not to buy.
And if something's working right or not.
Oh, of course.
And so, what's your philosophy on dealing though with engineers who have the ability, if they understand it,
right,
to fix something and make it work the way you need it to?
Well, that was how our relationship, me and Rick, we were like water and ice or whatever, but we were on different, levels in terms of, I'm talking a lot of broadcast stuff. He's, getting broadcast on a lot of computer. So we had to get to know each other. And then I think now that he might say something different. Okay, don't look over there. I know he is. But I think that for him to come here right behind Clinton, because that was and we were just spoiled by Clinton. And Rick was not quite the same personality.
Sure.
And so it took a minute to get used to him. But once he saw, and I'm grateful that I wasn't stupid about this stuff, because everything in here I buy and I pick it out. And I say, and I get the money, I raise it. But I mean, I know what I want things to look like and how I want it to configure. And, we talk about it and he tells me what to get and I buy it.
Well, good. Excellent.
From BGS.
Yeah, okay. Well, good. Glad we're supporting the sponsor.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Now, tell me, WFSK is a jazz station.
Yes.
Does Sharon K have something to do with the format of this station?
Well, it was jazz up and down and in and out, depending on who was here, because it's volunteers only.
Okay.
The station's nonprofit. But I just declared Smooth and Contemporary was going to be our format. The station was not consistent. It was the first and only radio station to play jazz music in the history of Nashville. 51 years this year. So I just wanted it to be consistent because that's what I know from my broadcast history is, people don't want in and out and up and down. They don't want a ball of confusion.
Right.
So, I wanted a way to make money so we could keep the doors open.
Right.
So I used all my expertise, and thank God for your sponsor. It was because I would tell him what my needs were, and we would discuss it, and then I would get with Rick or Clinton, and we would discuss it, and then got the ball rolling.
Good. Good. So yourself as the general manager, you feel like you've got a good relationship with your engineer, and you're able to.
Yes, now.
You had to whip him into shape, right?
I'm still not looking over there. I'm still not going to look over there. Awesome. Well, he's just different, and I was used to that, and
gotcha.
because he just is different, and I mean in a good way. So he's in a good way, but I mean I just had to get used to his personality, and he had to get used to mine because I'm pretty spontaneous. Okay.
I want to spend a minute talking about the fundraiser and how you do this. The first time you explained this to me and you asked if I could help out engineering wise with it, I said, sure, I'd be glad to, but I didn't really understand what you wanted to do. And Rick and I talked about this earlier right here on the show about how you broadcast from the parking lot,
Yes.
just 60, 80 feet from here or so, and but you have like a studio, but it's under a tent in the parking lot,
Right.
and so you need your mics to get mixed together, and you need feedback from here, talkback
I do.
from here, so that whoever's on the board, Mr. X or whoever, can tell you, hey, we're about to take a break, or
Yeah.
time
Well,
to
I
wrap
have
it
my
up.
cue stuff, you know.
Yeah,
I
okay,
have my music. I like to hear my music.
yeah,
And then, you know, he sometimes is listening in cue. And I say, okay, we're going to throw it back, you know. And, or I might hint around about, we'll be getting back to music in a minute, but first, don't forget to go online, WFSK.org. He hears that enough.
yeah,
He
yeah.
knows. And this is the 18th. So it's not like, it's not like this is our first rodeo.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have so much fun out there. You know, we didn't start out being outside.
Oh, you did
We
it inside
started,
at first.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right,
I've changed a lot of stuff since COVID,
okay.
when the money drain dried up because people weren't, feeling it, giving.
I've technically speaking, I've made a point of this earlier, but I'll make it again that um, thank goodness for this technology that you've got here.
True.
It's easy to throw one cable out the window
True.
and mix those mics and bring them back here and take the talk back and
That
send
is
it back
correct.
out to you
That is
guys.
correct. And it does, we do our live remote broadcast outside, and Mike before, including me, and it just makes for one fun couple of days because it's constant. Once you pull the plug on me, I'm talking because I want the people to be entertained and I want them to give some money and support this station. So I just can't sit there all dull and dead. That's not me, as you can tell. You've been around me, but your company and your products and the things that you do, have been extremely helpful to us being able to do this. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm delighted to volunteer a little bit of time myself to come help you
Tomorrow?
out. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
But I mean, stay.
All day.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, just a couple hours.
Well, sure. Yeah. What is tomorrow anyway? Oh, it's the Friday.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
starts in the morning
Yeah, I know.
at 9.
I'll be here like
Okay.
at 7.
I'm doing my best to make stars out of you and Rick. Okay, I'm doing my best.
Well, you don't have to work hard for Rick. He's a star anyway.
Well, let's ask his wife.
Just
okay?
ask. Well, there you go. Well, Sharon, thanks for spending some time with
course,
us.
of course.
I do understand that you do feed your engineers.
Oh, absolutely. Food is important in this business. You know that.
That's right. All
And the more the better. We make good plates to go or whatever. Rick knows we like to eat.
Well, thanks for spending some time with us. I appreciate it. And I see that your right hand fellow's right here outside the door.
Oh, well, he's late. He wasn't here. I'm here now. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you
Thank you, Sharon. It's good to see you.
for all you do.
Oh, well, thank you. And I'll keep listening.
Would you?
Yeah.
So if I have you on the air tomorrow, you're going to be good.
Was I not good last year? What wasn't I banned last year? Blacklisted? Don't let that Harnack guy on the air again. He ruins everything.
No, you weren't. Everybody's like, they learned some stuff.
Okay.
But thank
All right.
Because
Thank
our
you, Sharon.
relationships with people like you and others has helped make the station continue to operate.
Yeah.
This is not corporate.
Well, you got a lot of fans, and I know you're grateful for them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's over the years accumulation. And I do everything for the listeners. They know it, and they're spoiled. Tell them all the time.
Yeah.
They have expectations for this station, for just this work, and would you?
Uh-huh.
And I say yes to them, and they know it. And I'm always trying to put a fresh face or a good face on what we do, the university, the radio station, etc.
Well, good luck tomorrow and Saturday with
Yes.
fundraising.
Okay.
Do you have a goal to meet?
I have a goal every
Okay.
year, but have we
Okay.
met it yet? No, we
Oh.
haven't.
Well, let's see if we can
Well,
meet it tomorrow.
I will tell you that my goal is for the weekend is one thing versus the year. And I had to realize that because I can't, Nashville's not going to come up here to a jazz station and give $100,000 a year. They're just not going to do it yet. But in time they will. But I have $88,100, and we generally get right there maybe 6 months in here,
Yeah.
sponsors, underwriters, and donors. But it's hard work, man.
So the only if wait, you're 88.1 megahertz on the FM dial,
Correct.
and that's your goal, $88,100. You know, you're going to have to raise your frequency on the dial if you want to make
I
more
would
money.
say,
You have to put you at 107.9. You know,
I would
inflation,
say, I would say,
frequency inflation.
well, it could be 8,100, or 10,000, or 88. No, 800,100.
Ah.
See, we multiply time. And I can make a lot of stuff happen up here with that. Think how happy Rick would be.
Yes,
Okay?
indeed, indeed. I got to do a little commercial myself and raise some
Okay,
money.
for your sponsor.
For the sponsors. And if you could get that guy named X,
Well, who? Where?
he's waiting out there.
Okay. Yeah.
Could I put you to work for a minute and go get him?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for spending some time with
Of
us.
course. And thank you for asking. And thank you for being here.
Oh, and thank you for letting us use your studio.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. I told you people get what they want. Of course. What you need. But I thank you.
Sharon, I appreciate you very much, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning early. Okay. Hey, it's Kirk Harnack and Sharon Kay, and I'm going to real quick break and do a little commercial. If I remember correctly, we're talking about we're talking about our phones. Yeah, virtual rack. Thank you. That's what I thought it was. I was going to verify that. Virtual rack from Broadcast Bionics. And hey, thank you very much. Suncast is right on it to give us the video. Broadcast hardware that isn't hard. That's the idea behind virtual rack. So many broadcast functions nowadays can be virtualized. The company I work for, Telos Alliance, we're doing a lot of that. Between intercom systems, audio processors, audio mixing consoles, phone systems, all these things can be virtualized in a server environment. Well, Broadcast Bionics is taking this a step up, making it even easier for broadcasters like you and me to instantiate, to implement this kind of technology. And not only from Telos Alliance, there's also products from Sound 4 and from 2WCOM. You can watch videos on the Broadcast Bionics website as to how this technology works. And about a year ago, we did a full interview with Dan McQuillan of Broadcast Bionics. And there's the videos right there toward the bottom of the page at the Broadcast Bionics website that'll explain how virtual rack works. I got to tell you, virtualized technology in Docker containers is not child's play. It's not the easiest thing in the world to set up yourself. To be honest with you, I really couldn't do it myself and get it done properly. We have technicians at Telos Alliance who can do that remotely, but Broadcast Bionics has taken this a step further. You can buy this server that's got their virtual rack product already in it, and then you open that up with a web browser, plug it in, browse into it, and it's kind of like an app store. You pick out the broadcast appliances you want to run on the server, and it won't let you run too many, right? It has a certain amount of capacity, and it won't let you overtax that. Then you click on them to install them, whether it's a broadcast audio processor or an audio console or a phone system or a codec, any one of a number of different broadcast functions. You click on it, it installs itself within a couple of minutes. You give it the IP addresses that you want it to have, and there you go. Now it works, except you still need to license those products. Most of the companies who are making virtualized broadcast products give you some functionality even without licensing. But of course, you're going to want to contact each individual company that you install and license that product properly. But Broadcast Bionics Virtual Rack takes care of all the difficult work, all the mysterious stuff they handle behind the scenes. I love this idea. Our engineers at Telos, we are really impressed with the work that Dan McQuillan and his developers have done on Virtual Rack. We fully endorse the way that they're handling the installation and operation of virtualized broadcast equipment. So check it out from bionics.co.uk. virtual rack from Broadcast Bonics. I really appreciate them sponsoring our show. Check them out. Highly encourage it. I'm using some virtualized broadcast gear myself at my radio stations. I haven't had a chance to install Virtual Rack yet, but Dan McQuillan does explain it pretty fully. All right, it's This Week in Radio Tech. I'm Kirk Harnack here at WFSK at Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee. Look who's joined me. Hello there, X.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am excellent, excellent.
Your name just always intrigues me. I know it intrigues a lot of people. You were X before X was cool. Wasn't you?
Yeah, I was.
Before Twitter
Or should
was
I say
X.
I am? Yes.
Yes.
I'm the original X.
What's your function here at the radio station? What do you do?
Program director.
Okay.
Mhm.
You're also on the air.
That's right.
Okay. And you're typically, every time I've been in here during the fundraiser, it's you running the board.
That's correct.
You must work a lot.
Right.
What got you into radio? How did you end up getting here then?
That's a long story.
We've
But-
only got 5 more minutes.
Yeah. But long story short, I started out at the Cromwell Group, and I started out as overnights over there,
Uh-huh.
and then I became a account executive.
Oh, okay.
So I was on the air overnights, but then in the daytime I worked as an account executive. I worked there for a year, then I left and went to Cumulus Media.
Okay.
Assistant producer for the Tom Jordan Morning Show. I did overnights, Quiet Storm, middays, afternoon drive, you name it. And then Fisk University offered Sharon Kay the position of general manager here
Yeah.
at WFSK. And at that time, we were both at Cumulus, which is 92Q. And so I was producing her talk show, What's the 411 there. And so that's how we began to meet. Plus, I was doing the news for the Joyner Show, and she was doing the news segments in the morning. So we had a friendship, and she asked me to come along and be her program director over here.
So as an on-air talent program director, normally on this side of the microphone, talk to me about your relationship and how you deal with engineers and engineering, how you deal with equipment. If something's not working right, or if something you really feel this could work better, what are some of your philosophies about making that happen in dealing with an engineer and getting that done?
Yeah. Well, shout out to all the engineers, because you all are truly the backbones behind this media empire that a lot of people have. Because when things don't go right, one of the first persons we have to call is the engineer. If the station goes down or something is wrong with the programming, and it's the engineer. So you all do a terrific job. It's hard to explain because I'm not an engineer, but I do understand what it is you all do behind the scenes, making sure that when the tower goes down, if the board goes out, ordering equipment, setting up equipment, setting up programs, you name it, you all do a lot. Yeah.
So I know your personality. You're a very respectable and respectful person. So you probably have always had good relationships with engineers.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Not every on-air talent.
Yeah. Hey, it depends how much money you make, right?
I've had some nasty notes left on cart machines, you know.
Wow. Wow. I thought I told you that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes a disc jockey thinks putting a nasty word on a 3M on a post-it note will help the engineer know what's wrong with it. No, that doesn't really.
It doesn't work. No, it doesn't. And it's even funnier that sometimes when we call you all to fix something, it's something so minor. You go, oh, that's what that. Oh, okay.
Hey, have you ever called anybody because a light was out on a machine?
Just about.
Really? Okay.
Just about.
Because sometimes I've gotten that call.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Kirk, you got to get down here, man. The light is out on the cart machine. We got to fit. I'm like, can you finish your shift maybe without it?
Can you put in a trouble ticket? Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, thinking about how's our time? Oh, we got to wrap it up here pretty soon. Well, let me. I'm going to bring Rick back in for the very end, but before I let you go, what's important to you about the way a station, the flow and the sound of a station, and can you ever get any problem solved with an engineer? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, it does take on-air talent. It takes a good vision for the station. It takes the equipment working right and reliably and predictably.
Yes.
For you to get something for your on-air flow to sound good.
Yes.
What is your philosophy about that, and is that important to the listeners for things to flow well?
Most definitely. I think most listeners have no idea what an engineer is, and I've never heard of one. So when you introduce, like I do it to Rick all the time, I say, this is our engineer," and people smile and go, "Okay," and I go, "You don't even know what that is, do you?" But one thing about engineers is that they take great pride in what they do, because if they're driving down the street and they're listening to their station, they know that's their work.
Yeah.
In terms of how it sounds, in terms of
Yeah.
you know, I could go into stories, but we don't have time. But I mean, but Rick does an outstanding job, and shouts out to him. You're going to have him back on in a minute, and I just can't imagine what we would do without him because of all the issues that we've had over the years and his patience with us in trying to help us solve so many problems because things go wrong all the time that the general public and the listeners have not a clue. They turn on their radio and they just hear the sounds.
Okay.
Mhm.
So things could have been gone wrong, but as talent,
Yeah.
you cover up for those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why a lot of times I have to think quickly on my feet.
Yeah.
So I try to call him as if it's a last resort. I try to go over things, make it push this, push that, not to mess anything up, Rick, but to make sure that before I call him, if possible, that I've checked out everything that I can to make sure that by the time I call him, that he knows that if I'm calling, it must be something that he needs to hear.
I'm going to ask a leading question here. I know that you used to have an analog audio
Mhm.
console in here, and now you've got this Axia digital board. My experience has been that when you go to a digital audio over
Mhm.
IP system, it cleans everything up. Has that been your experience?
Oh yeah, and there's nothing like having some headphones that are digital, and then you talk nice and soft into the microphone, and you can hear your voice. Woo! Yes.
Well, you've got an awesome voice anyway.
I said I used to do the Quiet Storm back in the day.
Oh
back in the
that's
day.
right. That's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
How deep does your voice and smooth does it have to be qualified to do Quiet Storm?
Well, you know what? Ironically, that's one of the things that drove me in this business in terms of perfection, in terms of making sure that I was one of the best at what I do, because I was sort of put in that box where you have a nice voice. Surely you talk late at night. And I used to hate that. Like, okay, thank you for the compliment, but I can do more than talk late at night. So I had to work hard on making sure I could talk in the middays and the afternoons. And so, yeah.
I can do the weather. I can do the news.
There
I
it
can
is.
whatever you need. I can
Yes.
do.
And I've done the weather and the news. So, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, X. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kirk.
I appreciate you very
All right.
much.
And thank you for all that you do.
Oh well, I'm
Yes.
looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow morning,
Yes, sir.
along with Rick.
All right.
All right, we're gonna slip Rick back in here and wrap up the show here in just a minute.
All right.
See if you can make room for Rick.
Checks
Rick,
in the mail.
checks in the mail. Rick,
Yes, sir.
we're gonna try to leave our listeners with one more quick thing. Let me make sure.
Tidbit.
Let me make sure. Have I forgotten anything? No, we're good.
My
We're good.
antivirus I use is Bitdefender.
Bitdefender. Okay. Well, that could be our tip of the week.
Yeah.
What do you like about Bitdefender?
It's just easy to use, and it catches almost everything. I've never had a problem with it.
Okay. Okay.
And I got some crazy users that get into things, but it stops them cold.
Do you have any program that you help your clients to avoid phishing attacks? I know that at the company I work for, Full Time Telos Alliance, we have a third party vendor that purposely sends us phishing emails, and we just got a report that fewer than 2% of those have ever been clicked on from Telos Alliance. And apparently if you're under 5%, that's pretty good corporately. So, and we've had no attacks based on those. So, anyway, to me, like all the radio stations that I'm part owner of, I don't even think we have the money to hire a company to do that. I'd like to figure out how to do that on the cheap, where we can really get our employees to not click on things that they shouldn't. Any ideas?
You need to just train them, sit them down, and talk to them about. Look and see where the
You mean-
email came from.
I mean, I got to talk to them.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I know it's a hassle.
I know.
That's why I don't have employees anymore, because it's a hassle. But I mean, I do this with all my customers
Uh-huh.
and their employees,
Yeah.
and they get emails all the time phishing. I get emails every day phishing.
Yeah.
But I look to see where it's coming from. Recently I've been getting these things, DocuSign documents,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and who's it from? They want you to click on it, and typically it's the HTML
Yeah.
it goes to.
Yeah.
You just need to see where it's going when before clicking on it. You can hover over it and
Yeah.
it'll tell you the website or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what it is, don't click on it. Delete it.
Yeah, when you hover and you see a pop up and like you think you're going to Amazon, but it's amazonlee.jp,
Yeah.
right? No, that's not Amazon.
I forward those emails all the time to Amazon, to Comcast, to
Uh-huh.
Netflix,
Uh,
and they send you thank yous saying, we're
Oh.
trying to limit this. But yeah, when I see it, I forward it to the right people to take care of it.
so that's our tip of the week, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
And document everything. It helps. I know everybody that's in this chair always says that,
Yeah, I know.
but it really helps.
You're right. Rick, thank you for building this studio and upgrading it to Axia. I appreciate that.
Thank you and appreciate it. Appreciate your help in Radiothon week.
I see
It's
you.
3 days. It's tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
I see you. Oh, Sunday too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
just saw it on
Okay. Oh, wow.
I had,
I just noticed that you've been playing. You swapped out the audio console back over here behind us.
what audio?
That one. Right there.
Oh, that's yours.
Is that the one I brought?
Yeah.
I don't even recognize it.
It's
Okay. So you didn't swap it out.
no,
That's the one I brought.
That's the one we're going to use tomorrow.
I haven't seen that thing in 2 years. It's been packed away. That's the
It
problem.
works. It's what counts.
Hey, I want to thank Suncast for producing our show today. Thank you, Suncast, for helping us out, making the show look good. Thank you, Rick Durham.
Thank you.
If people want to know more about an MSP, what's your website?
DiversifiedElectronicService.com.
I will put that in the show notes. So, did you help people out of town or only people local?
Oh, out of town. It doesn't make any
You'll
difference.
take money from anywhere, right?
That's right. As long as the checks keep coming, I'm in business.
That's
you know?
right. All right. Hey, thank you very much for joining us here on This Week in Radio Tech. I'm glad you were able to spend some time with us, and we were able to see WFSK. I guess we didn't show you the console too very much, but there it is. It is an extra wide,
Got the add-on piece.
the add-on piece, the Axia IQ with the extra faders, and there's a node in the studio over there, and there's a node getting ready to go out the window. Well, we'll throw the cable out the window and take the node down the stairs.
Right.
Okay.
And maybe lower it down on the cable.
All right. Hey, be sure you check out our sponsors. It really helps us a lot. And we'll see you next week on This Week in Radio Tech. Bye-bye.